Hey everybody, it's Tony George along with Griffin Murphy right over there. Which way? That way. I got to go backwards on the camera. From DocSports.com, 6 Picks, the six-pack show. And a 10% discount today we'll tell you about in a little bit for this upcoming weekend. We got the biggest and the best on the planet in terms of the biggest games this weekend. Griff, how you doing, buddy?
Another day, another dollar, Tony, coming off a 7-unit winner on the ice last night, looking to recoup on the football slate, and I have an 8-unit CFL play going off Sunday, so I'm jacked up, huge week aboard, and looking to slaughter the show, Tony. How you doing over there?
Oh, man.
How we doing?
Doing good. Doing good. College basketball kicking ass. Came off a winning weekend last weekend. We wanted to pull the trigger on a game of the year, and I pulled back on it because I'd had a crappy 2 weeks. And I thought it was just fiscally irresponsible to do so. And I knew a bunch of other guys had big plays out, but it was going to be on Hawaii. And they were part of the card. So we just did a flat bet card. 4 units, 2-1. Same thing on Sunday. Coming off a couple of tough weeks in the NFL after rolling. Same thing, a 4-2 weekend. We might yank the trigger this weekend. We'll tell you how you're going to get a discount. Definitely going to have a big play in the NFL. There's a total mismatch out there. And a couple in college football as well. Public perception lines. So, but these games we got for you today, we're going to get to them right now. And the big one in the SEC this week, Oklahoma travels to Tuscaloosa to take on Bama. Bama 6-point favorite, 45.5. This line is still valid as of Wednesday. I guess Oklahoma off a 33-27 win off over Tennessee. Interesting, common opponent. Bama beat them 37-20. If Oklahoma doesn't win this game, they won't get in the playoffs. And Oklahoma, they wish they were back in the Big 12 with the schedule, a Big 12 schedule. They're finding out, as well as Texas, that this SEC is no freaking joke. That everybody's good. Teams like Vandy coming up, rising. Teams like Missouri coming up, rising to, the cream rises to the top. Bama, some lackluster wins against LSU, South Carolina, Missouri, nothing's fancy there. If Oklahoma, if they were at home in Norman getting 6, I'd look at them. Because their defense plays well there. And if Oklahoma can play some defense here, they might be able to keep it in the realm of respectability. I don't think Bama's invincible. Griff, your thoughts?
Yeah, Tony, this is one of those situations for me where we have another highly speculated game, especially at the quarterback position. And for the exact reasons that you just mentioned, with this line sitting at -6, a lot of people, again, I always get into this, they hate teasing college football, but this is one of those situations where this is a marquee game where you can actually tease this kind of situation. It's kind of like an NFL matchup where the point spread is pretty much valid. You drop Alabama to 6, get them to that outright winner. So this is a game where the market could potentially be looking for a full wipeout, whether that's Alabama bettors teasing them, taking them against the spread, or taking them straight up on the money line. So in a situation like this, when I look at this line, I believe the markets are a little bit confused here. Considering the fact that Bama is at home in this matchup, that's why that number's sitting at 6. I want to talk about the quarterbacks. Ty Simpson for Bama, 2,500 yards of passing this season, 21 touchdowns, 1 pick. This guy's been absolutely sensational. Other flip of the coin, John Mateer for Oklahoma. He's been absolutely sensational. 2,000 yards on the air, but 8 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. That is why I cannot back Oklahoma in this game. So when I look at a situation like this, you have Oklahoma coming off a bye week, well-prepped, I believe their preparation comes on the defensive side in this game. They need to stop Ty Simpson and this pass game, and I believe they will do so. Bama, they just beat LSU in their most recent matchup in a 20-9 final. Defense was definitely the heavy potent size of their gameplay. So in a matchup like this, I believe we're going to see a dragged out slugfest, Tony. My apologies. Give me the under 45.5 in this matchup. I believe we're going to see a defensive game. My God. But let's shift gears here because this is a game I'm really interested to get your take on. Notre Dame rolling into Pitt, catching 11.5 points. We've got a total sitting at 55.5. Notre Dame entering this game on a 7-game winning streak. In the critics, they opened up their year 0-2 on the season. And for them to make the college football playoffs, they have to win the rest of the season outright. And on top of that, they have to do that by blowing everybody out. They got to look pretty while doing it. Now they've got a tough Pitt team, 7-2 in this game, catching 11.5 points total at 55.5. Tony, what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, this shot up to 12.5. I know we haven't changed the graphic. I didn't talk to our behind-the-scenes producer, Lenny. But nonetheless, he was out enjoying a dinner at the Draft House last night in Las Vegas, so I didn't want to, look at him. He's on top of it. Yeah, this line moved to 12.5. Yeah, why not? Notre Dame 7-0 since taking on the first 2 good teams they played, and they got beat by both of them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they've won 7 in a row by an average of 28 points per game. And now, again, here we go. At the end of the season, Notre Dame's going to get in the playoff, and they're going to get their ass kicked because they haven't played anybody. Their remaining 2 games is against Syracuse, who started a cricket player at quarterback last week, and Stanford, who can't get out of their own. They couldn't even beat Bill Belichick. Bringing Andrew Luck and Frank Wright there to Stanford has done nothing for them. That being said, now Pitt, a 7-2 team, they have losses to Louisville, which is respectable. They lost to West Virginia, second game of the season. Both those losses were by 7. Shocker. The advantage for Pitt is a couple of things. Bear in mind that the Pittsburgh Panthers are tied for number 1 in the ACC right now at 5-1. They possess the nation's number 3 rush defense, allowing 80 yards a game. And what does Notre Dame like to do with their star running back? They like to run it. So that plays into Pitt's strength. They are at home. They're off a bye week. Give me the Panthers plus the 12.5.
All right.
I think all the pressure in the world is on Notre Dame here. Pitt has none. I think Notre Dame wins. I think Pitt covers. TCU off a loss at BYU. Off a loss. Wow. Here's a good setup.
Yeah.
BYU laying 4.5, total 51.5. TCU is 6-3 team. A lot of people thought that TCU, Griff, might contend for a Big 12 title this year under Sonny Dykes.
Sure.
They lost to Iowa State last week at home, which was shocking because Iowa State had lost 4 in a row or something and just looked like shit doing it. They had 2 road games. They're on the road here. They lost at Kansas State, who, okay team, nothing special. They lost at Arizona State. And now they got to go to BYU, who got their ass handed to them by Texas Tech. Now, bear in mind, there's 2 teams out of the 3 marquee 4 teams in Texas that are really good. Texas Tech and Texas A&M. Those are the top. Those 2 teams are top 5 in the country. So, losing to Texas Tech at Texas Tech, they didn't look good doing it, Griff, but this is an 8-1 team, really good on a strong home field. How do you see it?
This one for me, Tony, I've been really watching this Cougars team a lot throughout these past few weeks, and I will say they're starting to show signs of weakness as we've approached the later second half of the season. I know they beat up on Arizona, they beat up on Utah, Iowa State, as mentioned, and then in their most recent matchup, dropping to Texas Tech. And we know Texas Tech, that defense is just absolutely sensational. But this team, they're getting faulty in the second half of games, defensive side purely, and that is blown assignments and in the secondary. For TCU, this is a very underrated team in my eyes. Their losses, those 3 losses, All three of those losses could have been and should have been wins. It could have been, should have been, whatever the case may be. Kansas State, very underrated team. If they bring their A game, they're just as good as anybody in college football. That Avery Johnson, two-step quarterback dynamite, I must add. Looking at TCU, though, they're a very high-tempo team. They love to move the ball very fast. They have a very good quarterback with Josh Hoover, and I believe he's going to be a massive impact early in this game. I like TCU early to come out the gates fast, so give me the Horned Frogs here. First half line plus 2.5 over BYU. I think they come into this game sneaky aggressive and take them down. Going into the second half, I could just see BYU turn it up. At home, they've got the fans behind them, so I don't like covering them full game, especially against a team 8-1 coming off a loss. A lot of revenge poise is going to be in that back end. So give me the Horned Frogs here, plus 1 or 2.5 in the first half line of this one, Tony. But let's shift gears now, get on into the NFL. We've got an interesting matchup. Two of these teams coming off losses. We've got Tampa Bay rolling into Buffalo to play the Bills. Bills laying 5.5, total sitting at 47.5. As I mentioned, both of these teams coming off of losses. Buffalo, embarrassing loss to Miami in their most recent matchup, and that was in a blowout. They weren't in the game the entire matchup, including the fourth quarter. Horrible. Tampa Bay, they went toe-to-toe with New England, very underrated team to start the year. Now this team's starting to look like one of the top contenders in the NFL. Very interested to hear your take on this one, Tony, with both of these teams coming off of losses here.
Cue it up, Lenny. Let's talk about a 10% discount. Then we'll get to the game. Promo code SURE10. You see above us here, we got a free $60 account. There's a link. There's a tab on the website at DocSports.com that says free 60. We'll park it in any new account. Comes with a profit guarantee and no hassles. Join DocSports.com. Best website on the planet in this space, I can tell you right now. And then you get an additional 10% off Griff or Tony's packages. Any package in football, including the Daily Top Pick package, 10% off. There's a promo code box in any package you click on. Fill in the promo code SURE10, and that'll give you 10% off. And put the $60 towards it as well. Okay? That's the pitch. Let's kick ass, take names, and make money. That's why we're here. Okay. All right. Let's get back to Buffalo. Tampa Bay. Now, was I surprised that Buffalo got hammered like raw meat down in Miami last week? A little, but I wasn't shocked. First of all, just so everybody knows, if you don't watch the NFL opening line report, I do every Tuesday morning, which is on Doc's channel. I'm never surprised when a home divisional dog of over 3 points as an underdog wins or covers. I'm never surprised, Griff. Home divisional dogs are freaking money, folks. They're freaking money. I'm telling you right now. And if they're getting over 3.5, you better be teasing them. We'll talk about that in a minute. I don't care who they are. FYI. Plus, Buffalo's not that good. I've been saying they've been overrated all year long. They had a 15-point lead the first game of the season with 6 minutes left in the game at home and lost. Okay? Yeah, they beat my Chiefs. Okay, so what? They beat the Chiefs every regular season. But I'll tell you something right now. Better defense, getting points. Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield's a magician. They can run the ball and successfully with Rashid White.
Yeah.
A lot of passes back out of the backfield. 5.5 is the absolute worst number on the planet to lay in the NFL. I don't care if you're at home or on the road. Buffalo has the number 1 rushing offense. Tampa's number 11 at stopping it and pretty stout. You're going to have a lower scoring game here, in my opinion. Both teams are going to try and run it. A lot of play action. I'll take Tampa plus the points. You better stick them in a teaser as well. Get them through 6, get them through 7, get them through 10. That's a 3-way fall number. That's called a value bet teaser. Give me the Bucs to make it interesting up in Buffalo. I just think, honestly, Griff, I'm not sold on Buffalo this year. You beat Kansas City, big freaking deal. You can't beat Kansas City when it counts, postseason. So nonetheless, I will take Tampa Bay in this ball game here. And I would argue, as you mentioned earlier, Buffalo might not even be the best team in that division. Just the way New England's playing right now. FYI.
Yeah.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The monsters of the Midway. The Chicago Bears, Griffin's hometown team, on the road taking on Minnesota. Minnie's laying 3 points. They laid a big fat egg last week against the Baltimore Ravens. Chicago continues to find ways to win. Surprising 6-3 on the year, Griff.
Yeah.
Some of the moves they made, some of the players they acquired are paying dividends for them. Williams is looking more like an NFL quarterback than he did his first year with no coaching at all and little offensive line around him. Total 48.5. How you see it? Big game.
It's a huge game, Tony. This is the biggest game for us Chicago Bears fans. Obviously, you guys know I'm from Chicago. I'm a Bears fan. This is the biggest game that we've had since Cody Parkey shanked that field goal against the Eagles in the playoffs, obviously. So this is a massive game for us, and I hate going on that homer status, but we've got to talk legitimacy here. The Chicago Bears, they have now won 5 of their last 6 games. All 5 of those wins have come in the fourth quarter, nearly on last possession victories. So all season long, what have I ripped apart Caleb Williams about? Not being able to close in the red zone. Every time the Bears get the football on the other side of the field, we walk away with 3 points. Well, that deciphers now because instead of closing out early in games to get the touchdowns, what this kid does is he closes out victories. And that is something that the Chicago Bears have needed for a very long time. Ben Johnson, absolute phenomenal job as our head coach. This guy's play calling, his energy in the locker room, the way he fires this team up, the leadership role, I mean everything. And I'm fully engaged and in tune with this team, whether it's locker room, press conferences, you name it. Now going to the other flip of the coin, talking about the Minnesota Vikings. Well, laying 3 points in this matchup, which is interesting. Divisional matchup. They got the Chicago Bears in their home opener, and the Bears should have won that game. J.J. McCarthy turned it on in the second half, and he was talked about a lot better than he actually played. But I have to say, I am more impressed with how J.J. McCarthy has played throughout his few seasons that he has played, especially last week. Ravens, obviously, they did come off a loss, but they looked really competitive in that game. They were leading throughout the entire first half, ended up blowing that game. Situational spot like this, how do you not take the Chicago Bears? 5 of their last 6 games have been victories. They're catching 3 points in here. We have a divisional matchup. This is the biggest game of their entire season, let alone the biggest game in the last 5 years for this team. Give me the Chicago Bears. We're bearing down +3 here. This is not a homer pick. This is a situational pick. I believe the Bears win this game outright and continue this domination in the NFC North and stick with Detroit Lions, Lenny's Lions, as well as we've got the Green Bay Packers, which I believe they're going to start falling. So give me the Bears here, +3 here. Let's get to the final segment here, Tony. We've got the teaser. We've got Seattle and Cleveland. Let's roll.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll make it short and sweet for you. The 2 best teams in the NFC square off this weekend. Seattle and LA Rams. Those are the 2 best teams in the NFC. Yeah. Sorry, Lenny. They're the 2 best teams in the NFC. This is huge. Detroit's running a close third. Give me Seattle +8.5. Okay. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yep.
3 key numbers, 3, 6, 7. I think the Rams win this game. I think Seattle can cover the 8.5. I think the Rams defense is very underrated. And Sam Darnold, as we know, we saw last year playing for Minnesota when he got in the playoffs and came up against a lot of pressures from the defense, he looked like dog shit. And that's exactly what Sean McVay is going to have his defensive coordinator do, bring the heat. And if he does, I think the Rams can win it. That being said, 8.5 is attractive because they will give them a run for their money. And That's right. The Cleveland Browns against the Baltimore Ravens. This was a 41-17 game. It looks easy just to tease Baltimore down. Home divisional dog with revenge. Telling you right now, folks, with the better defense, getting over 2 touchdowns in a tease, give me the Browns. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure and use that promo code SURE10 this week. We'll give you 10% off any football package from myself or Griffin Murphy. There's a promo code box, empty space on the website. When you pull up a football package, fill the son of a bitch in with SURE10. Get 10% off. Use the free $60 we give you. We're not going to promo packages. We're going to make you go over to the website and find out what we got this weekend. I know Griff will have a top play on Saturday and Sunday. I will have a top play on Saturday and Sunday. Potentially only one play on Saturday. Potentially a game of the year. Doc Sports, place to be. Be there. Be square. Thanks for tuning in.